This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio.
I was born to live, live to ride, ride to live. I was born to ride. American built, we forever unite. And that's the deal. I was born to
This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio.
Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Everyone was right, I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is a multimedia marketing and promotional machine with TV, magazines, streaming radio, and internet advertising opportunities. There are tens of thousands of motorcycles. We reach the people who ride them. Born to Ride. Find out more at borntoride.com.
You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation at 863-225-2000. Now, here's more of your hosts, Fester Jenkins and Mama Dukes, on Born to Ride Radio.
Welcome this Thursday evening to the Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. I'm Fester Jenkins.
Is that where you're going?
Yes, sir.
You're going with Fester Jenkins tonight. Nothing else?
That's what you got tonight. We are getting close to Halloween,
Yes,
aren't we?
very close.
Fester's ready. Is that his favorite holiday?
And I thought we had Cousin It in the studio a little while ago.
We did.
But,
Hi, everybody. I'm Mama Dukes. We got Ron and Debbie Galetti here tonight again.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Always
know
good
what
to be
that
here.
means?
Yes.
Man, it really flew by. It seemed like we were just here yesterday. But we did get to see you guys on Tuesday night, last Tuesday of the month at JF Kicks.
Yep, just for
Just
kicks.
for kicks.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's a really nice place. Great food, great entertainment, great service too, and it's a great location. Nice bike night. It's gonna continue to grow, and people are really excited to get to see you guys because they've been listening for so long. And how did you feel about getting out with the people finally with this COVID stuff? We're going to get out there.
I've been raring and waiting to get it going. Absolutely.
It was
yes.
nice.
I
It
mean,
was really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fester was like a little celebrity out there.
Yeah, and you did the live remote was cool, and Johnny seemed like he really enjoyed it, and it's a good bike night, and it's a good place, like I said, and I think it's going to continue to grow and grow.
They have a lot of different events going on.
Oh,
too.
they've always
a
got
lot.
something going on. So that's a great place. If you're in the Lithia Pinecrest area, or if you're just looking for a destination, someplace to ride to, try out JF Kicks, buddy.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
outside patio, and they do that market. What is that, every weekend, Deb?
No, once a month.
Once a month,
Yes.
they do a big market outside with all kinds of people bring
Jellies,
so cool
jams,
stuff.
salsas, all kinds of.
You guys had dinner, right?
Yes.
Did you try the mac and cheese?
No, but the
Me
lobster
neither.
roll The lobster roll was fabulous, and the owner Johnny's from Maine, so he knows the connection for lobster, and he only likes the best lobster. So that was exciting.
And he's one of 18 kids.
That is amazing. That's amazing. That is wow. I wanted to try the mac and cheese with lobster, and we ended up having some really good fries and what else?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they've got a good menu.
Yep.
Johnny's just a great guy too. He's an entrepreneur.
Oh, they had 3 tacos for $5 and Modelo
Tuesday.
beer for $2.50. You got out of there less than $10.
Oh, you
so
can't beat
that's
it.
that
Can't
was a
beat
good
it.
deal. Yeah. So, hey guys, do you know when we get back together next Thursday at this time, we will have voted in the United States of America and elected a new president. That's 1 week away. We're gonna have something to talk about next
A
week,
president.
right? Huh?
A president.
Oh, did I say more than one?
No, you said a new president.
Our president.
Our president.
Our president.
We
Our
will
president.
have
A president.
a president to continue.
Maybe
our-
a new one.
Yeah.
Maybe a reelected one there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's that time, people. So we urge you to go out and vote. If you're whoever you want to vote for them. But you can't cry about it afterwards and say, "Oh man, if you didn't vote, you can't say anything about it." You got to get out and vote. That's our duty as American citizens. And people who aren't American citizens, just that can't vote. I mean, you don't realize what a great honor it is to be able to vote. So people really look up to being an American citizen and having that freedom to vote. So it's a great country.
It's going to be a family affair for the Galetti clan because our son, Bruiser, will be 18 on Election Day on Tuesday, November 3rd. And our daughter is 19, and it'll be her first time voting as well. So
I have a few older family members who have never voted.
really,
They just haven't. And so I'm like, listen, you're voting this year.
Did they?
Like,
They did. Or they're gonna?
yeah.
They registered.
Hey, I'm dragging them all Tuesday. They were
Give 'em
all
free lunch.
they were all in that group chat that said, "Hey, this is how you register."
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
What-
sometimes it just takes someone to go with you just to,
And
take the edge off of it.
and Halloween is coming up, and it's kind of a spooky time and stuff. And Roscoe's Chili Challenge is right around the corner. I think Dave might call in today and give us an update. But speaking of spooky, we have a special guest today. He's going to be calling in Ghost Biker Explorations.
I thought he was getting ready to say, speaking of spooky, we have Dave Nichols
Well,
on the line.
that's pretty spooky too. But stay tight, man. Like I said, go get Mama from the kitchen and get everybody here to listen to Boss Hog Radio tonight because we're going to have a great show. And I think we already have Dave on the
Yes.
line.
Speaking of Dave Nichols, you there, Dave?
He's
Ooh.
there.
Or is this the ghost of Dave?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
To the Boss Hog Radio.
Good
Hey,
evening,
we're
my
gonna
friend.
have Miranda Young is going to join us, the Ghost Biker Exploration, the parapsychologist.
Is that cool or what, Dave? I mean, that's how cool the diversity of what we do and the lifestyle we choose to document. There's all kinds of people who ride motorcycles.
Absolutely. And this woman, she has her own Ghost Biker Explorations. She's out there looking for ghosts, just like on those TV shows you see, like, Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and all that kind of stuff. She does it for real. And do you guys know about this kind of stuff? Have you ever watched any of those shows?
Well, it's a real niche, and there's a lot of people
Scooby-Doo.
who love that. And, so
Yeah.
so what she is, she's got the ghost thing, the paranormal people. She's got the bikers, and then she's got woman power. So she's very inspiring a woman. It should be a great person. She's featured in the Born to Ride magazine for October. So
Now, are you guys believers? Like, do you believe in ghosts, or are you still a little?
I try not to.
I watch Casper, the movie.
I think Dave knows a lot about this, though.
I do.
He's into
I
this.
actually do. Do you guys know what an EVP session is?
No.
Okay, well, I'm sure Miranda will talk about that. When they go into a building, that they believe is haunted, or that there's been some sort of paranormal, going on in a house or a building or an old, scary place. EVP stands for electronic voice phenomenon. And what they do is they record and ask questions of the spirits in the house. And then when you play back the tape, you hear ghostly voices that you didn't hear when you were there in person. So she can tell us about EVP sessions. She can tell us about EMF meters, which is a way for you to find out. It's electromagnetic, where there are, things in the house, or infrared, all kinds of stuff they use. Binary
I hear something now.
Devices. Hear that?
I hear it in this room, man. You're bringing out.
Boss
You're bringing it out. It's the Boss Hogg himself, or the.
In the studio.
It's something under this desk, man. I can feel it. It's vibrating.
It's a natural phenomenon that happens every Thursday evening at 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we do have Miranda Young on the line here.
Miranda's
folks,
on the line.
Yeah.
Miranda.
Yeah, so are we ready to bring her in?
And an introduction.
Okay, and
Great job on that.
Miranda Young live on the phone here in the studio with us. Welcome.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
Hi.
Miranda, it's great to
Thanks
have
for
you
being
on
here.
Boss Hogg Radio. Really excited to have you. You're in the magazine. People have been reading it. They've been talking about you. They've been asking questions. So I said, man, we just have to get her on the air. And Boss Hogg is a great place to be. We got Dave Nichols on the line too, and he's got some great questions to ask you. Maybe we'll let Dave start it off. Dave, what do you got, man?
Okay, Miranda, would you please explain to these folks would you tell them what an EVP session is?
Absolutely. So that's kind of one of the main things that I do. I'm kind of an old school investigator. Spend a lot of time just sitting and listening and asking questions, listening for those EVPs. An EVP is an electronic voice phenomenon, and there are typically two types. One is the type that we don't hear in real time. We just call those EVPs, and we pick them up on different recorders that we have. The other are disembodied voices, and those are the ones that you actually hear in the moment. And there's sometimes when I'm investigating, you'll see in my videos that I'm wearing headphones, and if I have those headphones plugged into my recorder, I can hear what my recorder hears in real time, and sometimes I'm able to actually catch those voices coming over the recorder, even if they're not a disembodied voice.
Wow.
Man,
That's pretty cool.
now Miranda.
How about, can you tell them what an EMF meter is?
Sure, yeah, that measures the electromagnetic frequency. And anytime I go into a location, I always do a base reading because pretty much everything gives off EMF. And you have a base reading when you go into a location. And so if it's a location that's abandoned and there's no power or anything like that, then we're not going to get false readings or spikes. But if I'm doing a residential location, then I go in and I check the base reading, and because different conduits and power will spike that EMF. But the theory behind it is that if there is a spike in electromagnetic frequency activity, that could potentially be some type of unexplained phenomena, which could be spirit activity.
Wow.
How about do you ever use those binary response devices where you're looking for yes and no answers?
What was that? Sorry, I couldn't.
binary response.
Could you repeat the last part of that?
Yeah, those binary response devices where you're asking a question and you're looking for a yes or no answer.
Absolutely. Being that I ride my motorcycle to the different locations, I do have to end up traveling light. And so I'm real particular about the pieces of equipment that I'll take to different locations because my space is limited. But I have, I have several different binary devices that will answer yes and no. One of them that I actually really like to use to ask yes and no questions are my dowsing rods, which here in the Appalachians we call, they're used for witching water. And, basically they're copper rods. They're not electronic, so you don't have to worry about the battery drain. And they free spin. You hold them in your hand, they free spin, and you ask yes and no questions. Yes, they'll cross the rods. No, they'll keep them open. You can ask, if you're in a room for, if there's someone there to point at a certain point in the room and they'll move the rods in that direction. I really like using those because, some of the spirits that we're dealing with they're older. They may not, be comfortable touching an electronic device. They may not understand that. So I really like to use the rods because it's something that's easy and familiar. But I do have a lot of electronic gadgets that I'll use to ask yes and no questions, measure the temperature, EMF readings. My EDI box, I love that because it's small. It's kind of like a science box. It's got a geofoam in it to where if it's touched, it picks up the vibration, and this piece actually has to be touched. It's got a built-in K2 meter in it, and it gives temperature readings, pressure changes, and, humidity and that sort of thing all at one time, so you can kind of check the atmospheric changes around to see if any of that is correlated with any type of the unexplained activity and readings that you're getting from the other pieces of equipment.
Well, and Miranda, you've been doing this for years, right?
I have. I've been a paranormal investigator for about 10 years now, and I've been doing ghost biker explorations for 3.
Well, and so, having had all of these experiences, what is your take? Do you think ghosts are just residual energy, or do you actually think that they're spirits that haven't figured out how to move on? The traditional go to the light, Carol Ann thing.
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
feel
a great
like
question.
They're just energy, or do you feel like there's spirits?
I'm always learning something every day from the variety of locations that I go to. And for me, I've been able to get both residual and intelligent activity. A lot of the activity that we do get is residual that I feel like is sort of trapped energy in a location. Other times, and, we've been able to document this through the web series, they've been able to intelligently respond, answer questions. So in some cases, I do believe that we are dealing with intelligent energy that may potentially be hanging around because either they have a message they want to get across or they may be trapped for some reason. I've even come into contact at times where I've been in homes that have had multiple spirits and they have oppressed, one spirit has been oppressing the others because it is potentially negative. So I've really gotten both kinds of activity. It's really fascinating, the different types of activity that you can get at the different places.
Wow, Miranda, tell me something about your grandmother, because didn't she inspire you with some as a young child?
She did. That's really kind of how I got my interest in this. My grandmother used to share stories. When I was really young, she was between the ages of 90 and 95. And she was always telling me stories about folklore and different haints here in the Appalachian Mountains. And so both her and my dad used to tell me about, days of old and, the way things were. And really, really ingrained the importance of storytelling. And so that's what I like to do with my web series. Being able to go out and, make contact with the paranormal and see if there's paranormal is amazing. But being able to tell those stories about the history of the location. And one thing people will notice when on my web series is that, I always, ask them and tell them, I want to tell your story. So she really instilled that in me by, telling me about a lot of the folklore, and that's what I like to share on my web series.
So when did you start? I mean, at what age did you say, I want to really get into this? I'm going to study more. I bet you were in the library a lot and research. Or tell us how that
Absolutely.
happened. How did it come about?
Yeah. Really at a very young age, probably around 9 or 10 years old, I really loved the show Unsolved Mysteries, and it used to intrigue me and creep me out at the same time. And so, so I would watch that, and then every opportunity that I would get, I would be in the library or at the local archives, just, trying to read some of those really old books, Foxfire and Haunting in the Appalachians. And, I was always interested, and I started watching some of the paranormal entertainment shows back when they first started in the late 90s. And then I didn't really go out and investigate until I was approached by the team that I used to be a member of. They approached me because of my background in photography and wanted me to look at some pictures and try to possibly debunk some of the things that they had gotten while they were on an investigation. They were an all-male team of 4 members. And so, one picture turned into 2, 2 turned into 4, and 4 turned into 20. And then they invited me to go on an investigation at a local bar and Mexican restaurant at a marina in town. And so went on that investigation and had a lot of luck, got a lot of great Class A EVPs and a lot of flashlight activity, and was even touched while I was there. I had a drink with the lady that was supposed to haunt the bar. She was a regular, and by asking different questions, I was able to confirm, they knew what her favorite drink was. I didn't know, but we were able to get answers from, on the flashlights and stuff that was able to, it proved what her drink was. So sat at the bar, had a drink with her, and after that investigation, the bug bit me, and I was invited to be a member of the team. And I was going out and investigating different residential homes. We never charge or anything for the homes. If someone, wanted us to come in and check things out, we would do that. And then we would also do a bunch of commercial locations. And so then I found that while we were doing that on a monthly basis, I was going out on my own, on my motorcycle, going to different interesting and haunted locations, or even just historic locations, taking photos of everything that I was seeing and posting it on my social media. And I was getting a lot of questions, like, what is this location? What's the story? And what's the history of that? And so I thought, I really should go and document this through video because there's a whole lot of interest. And so got together sort of a plan for Ghost Biker and ended up leaving the team because when I was with the team, I was with them for 8 years, and I was doing their marketing, their social media, and putting their videos together. And I found that I was spending so much time developing Ghost Biker that I needed to step away and open up that spot, for someone else on that team. And pretty much the rest is history. We're rolling, just finished season 3 and just rolling right along, doing some really interesting and cool stuff.
That's really cool. I really wanted to ask you about like Civil War battlefields or maybe Indian spirits, up there in the mountains. There's a lot of Indians and stuff. Mm-hmm. But what I want to ask you first about your love for motorcycling. How did you get into biking? What are you riding, and why do you ride?
Sure. I absolutely love any time that I can be out on my bike, and I always wanted to ride. My family was not a riding family, but I'd always wanted to ride. And back in 2009. I got my first motorcycle, went and took the MSF course, and got my first bike. And then I got the bike that I currently ride now, which is an 883 iron, and it's the blacked out, kind of throwback edition. Absolutely love that bike, and any opportunity that I'm able to get out on that and go, I find it really helps me, because when I go into a different location, you've really got to be centered, grounded, and really be in a good place mentally when you go in. And to me, there's no better place than on the seat of that bike to, clear your mind and get ready. So it actually works out really well with the investigating.
That's awesome. One thing too I wanted to ask you about is you're very talented as an artist, and you've sent us some sketches and some drawings, and tell us about your artwork and how that came about, and why do you love to do art? Art is such a good release for everybody.
It really is, and I found that when I was going to these different locations, I always like to draw the place that I go and visit, and that's really how it started, was by drawing the different locations, and then I would present the owner of the location with the drawing, and I found that I was really able to identify with the location. When you spend 6 to 8 hours sitting, staring at a picture or looking at a location, you can really get an intimate look at that place. So it really helped me with my investigating, and then that's actually how I fund my travels now. Is I would do the drawing of the places, and then I sell the prints, and the sale of the prints of the different haunted locations, I put that money back into my travel, and and so then that turned into commission pieces of motorcycles, portraits, pets. I always say, if you can love it, I can draw it. So, it's become the way that I've actually funded what I do.
That's awesome. Now, Fester, Mama Dukes, Deb, everybody's got a ghost story. What do you guys got here? you want to ask a question to?
I can't even make it through the doors of the first haunted house that I know nothing in there is real without my eyes closed, head tucked. The only other person I seen or have ever met that's as chicken as I am is DB. DB. We had one out here, and he screamed through the whole thing.
There he is.
Well, I'm not a big fan of haunted houses. It's crazy. Because it is so different. But I find for myself, I'm not really too afraid of very much when I'm in these locations, because I do approach it with a respect, especially if I'm doing a battlefield or doing Native American lands or different experiments like that. These were once people, and so I find that I always approach with a sense of respect. Now, it can be creepy because I do sleep in these locations sometimes. Normally, I'm in them for 6, 8, 12 hours, and so I'll always try to sleep in them if I can, and I get even more different activity whenever I'm sleeping in there. But I find that I'm more afraid of the living or, the traffic that I endure on my motorcycle than I am, some of the activity. But we've had some really intense experiences at some of these places, especially, like Ron mentioned, especially with, the Native American and the battlefield. You can get some pretty interesting and intense stuff in places like that.
I know whenever you were talking about spending the night sleeping somewhere, Mama Dukes is sitting here in the studio shaking her head. Oh, no, that is...
I want to ask Dave Nichols. Dave, all your years of journalism and publishing and being an editor, with a motorcycling, have you come across a story like this?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't come across a biker who's a paranormal investigator, but I absolutely, in my family, my mother saw a full-body apparition once that went right over her and through the wall behind her.
Wow.
And so,
Wow.
it's like you hear these stories. Miranda, have you ever seen like a full body apparition at one of these?
Is that a
locations?
ghost?
Yeah.
It is. There's several kinds. Yeah. There are shadow figures. There's full body apparitions. I saw, it wasn't a full body, but Brushy Mountain State Prison in Petros, Tennessee, it was one of the most active places that I've ever done, and such a variety of activity there. And that was one that I also slept at. But I've stayed there on 6 different occasions, and on one in particular, we were doing a Native American experiment up in the kitchen area or cafeteria area of the prison. And after we had played some Native American chants and had some different items that we were kind of offering as trigger objects, there was it was a shadow figure that we saw, and there was 9 of us that was in there. I was with several other teams on that particular night, and we saw a head and shoulders. It was really weird and hard to explain, but basically this shadow figure or this apparition cast its own shadow in one of the flashlights that we had sitting up. And there was probably, it doesn't sound like long, but it was about 6 seconds of this head and shoulder shadow walk across, and it literally strolled across the room. 6 seconds in paranormal time is a long time. So that was pretty intense and that's been probably the most I've seen as far as an apparition.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is.
Goosebumps
Deb,
just hearing the story there.
What do you think, Deb? This is pretty inspiring. Is that a break?
Yep, it's time. We got to take
We got to take a little break.
I was wondering what that noise was. I thought it was like some ghosts wrestling up around here, man. Or apparitions. What is that? We're going to go for a break. Hang on. Don't go away, okay? We'll be right back.
Check out the all-new BornToRide.com with radio, TV, industry, adventure, events, magazine, social media, and much more. It's the all-new BornToRide.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio. You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation by calling 863-225-2000.
And welcome back to Born to Ride Radio Thursday nights here on Boss Hogg Radio. Yes, sirree.
You never know what we're going to have.
And this evening we've got a real special guest, with it being practically Halloween here, folks. Miranda Young, are you back? You with us?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to bring Dave back also.
That's
Dave, are you there too? Ooh, the Wolfman.
Deb, you had a question you wanted to ask, right?
Well, Miranda, so I think I read somewhere that you actually Mama Duke's headphones are turning colors over here, neon lights.
Oh,
sorry.
cool, neon. Those are LEDs.
Yes. So you actually take like a group of bikers out and you ride and then make these stops. Is that what I understand how your tours work?
We did that this year, and that was the first time that we tried it. Was this year did a haunting ride that ended at a bike event at a historic general store, and we're looking to do more of that next year. You know, with the state of the way things happened this year, it was kind of challenging. But what I did was I planned out a route that was going to end at this historic location, and I went and I found it was 125 miles, and along that 125 miles, I went and found different stops along the ride that were either historic in nature, like how some towns were created, or areas that were haunted. And there was probably about 15 to 20 areas that we went through. And so I put them into a video because I knew we wouldn't be able to stop at every one. And essentially let people know where we were going to be riding through and the stories behind the places that we were going, and released it as 2 videos leading up before the ride. And we ended up having, on that one particular ride, we ended up having over 100 bikes there, which was really cool. We were only anticipating about 25, and when we showed up and there were all those bikes, it was a very cool experience, and it got a lot of interest and a lot of people wanting to do these in different areas.
That's
so we're
cool.
hoping 2021 to carry that out.
Yeah, I talked to a Harley dealer today, and they're very interested in getting more information. So we'll have to talk about that and bring you down to Florida.
Absolutely.
Wanted to ask you, have you ever done any things with a seance? Is that what that is? When they all sit around the table and the table moves around and they try to bring somebody back? Is that anything that you've ever done?
It's not something that I typically do, but I have been at a couple different locations. I know they did one at the Bel Air House in Bel Air, Ohio, when I was up there. And then, for me, for the most part, I usually investigate alone, or will be myself and a camera person, or if I collaborate. But this one particular occasion, I was part of an event that they were having up there, and so they did one, and they let me film it, and it was a first time experience for me, which was really interesting. For me, I don't usually clear homes or bless homes or anything like that. I get called in to, if it's a residential, I get called in to kind of debunk what's going on or help them, kind of prove that they're not crazy, that there is, and I'll look at all different elements when I go in and do a residential case. If they're having problems sleeping at night, it may be because they have the electronics that they have going on in their bedroom, or it could be the wiring in their house. So we try to look for logical explanations, and then, and then I'll do an investigation to see if I can catch some of the things that they've had happening to them as far as EVPs and different unexplained readings. If it's a commercial location, obviously that's a different thing. Or if it's just a historic landmark that I'm going to investigate and tell the story, I'm basically just going in and telling the story of why I'm there. Now, I did have a case that I had actually gone to investigate a local legend. It was a haunted relic, a haunted bathtub. And people can hear more about that story if they go back and watch my season 1, episode 2. But I was in this home investigating this haunted tub, and I was getting so much activity from the tub and the house that I contacted the homeowner. It was an abandoned house that was using the home as storage, and I found out that there had been some things that were going on in the home. Well, I went back, and she allowed me to go back on multiple occasions throughout an entire year. We documented this in my season. It became a year-long case, and it actually ended with me calling in a demonologist who did a home liberation, which is essentially a home exorcism. And he allowed me to film that and document, and it was probably one of the craziest things that I've ever experienced. And if you guys have seen the Conjuring movie franchise with Ed and Lorraine Warren, this demonologist that I ended up working with on this case, he was associated and trained by one of Ed Warren's proteges. So it was really interesting to meet him and to do that side, because typically I'm not going out necessarily looking for the darker, more negative, but I have encountered some on some of these places, because you never know what you're going to find when you go.
Sure.
But
Well, that's pretty interesting. What about
yeah,
like Ouija
so
boards
it's
and
cool to
stuff?
cover it.
Ouija boards, all that. We could go on so far, and we're gonna have to bring you back because
Absolutely.
we have another caller coming in. But quickly, tell us how do we get in touch with you? How do they see your series and your website and all your contact stuff? And we're going to be doing a lot more stuff with you. Believe me, I'm really excited about this.
Sure. And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't use Ouija boards on any investigations.
I didn't think you did, but experiencing with them.
Right. That was actually what we think brought part of this real intense haunting at this house. But that's definitely another story for another time.
Sure. We're going to do part 2.
Sounds great. Yeah, people can follow the web series. We just wrapped up season 3 this week, and so they can catch up on seasons 1, 2, and 3 on the Ghost Biker Explorations YouTube channel, Ghost Biker Explorations Facebook page, and then also on www.ghostbikerexplorations.com. I'm very active on the Facebook page because we'll be doing lives, having the event calendar posted as far as any meet and greet events or haunted rides that we'll be having next year, because we've got a lot of really cool things planned for then. And then also people can purchase Ghost Biker Explorations merchandise or any of the drawings on the website.
Awesome. Well, Miranda, we can't thank you enough for being a part of Born to Ride, for being in the magazine, for taking the time to call in today. I know you're really busy, and we just want to thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been a real honor and a real pleasure. I appreciate, getting to know you guys and you having me on and sharing my story.
Awesome. We're going to do some stuff
fun.
up there in
Yep.
the Southeast with you, too, with some of those dealers as well.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful.
Be a fun time.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Well, thanks,
Thank you,
Miranda.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Look
you. It was
forward
great
to the
meeting
next
you
time.
all.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
That was awesome. But, man, we got something awesome now on the phone. Something
Yeah.
big's coming to
we're
to
a
the area.
week. I was thinking about this looking at the calendar today. We are a week out.
1 week.
1 week out,
1
'cause
week.
Thursday night it really it
Actually,
starts,
yeah.
man.
1 week out
Oh,
from drum roll. 1 week out from
Roscoe's Chili Challenge.
and they actually make chili there.
Yes.
And who do we have on the line?
We've got Dave on the line. Hey, Dave, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you guys doing?
Hey,
All
Dave, what's
right.
happening, man?
Do we have the other Dave also?
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
Dave Nichols.
and Dave Nichols is
And
on
Dave
there
Tomlin.
too.
Dave
All
Tomlin.
Dave's not here, man.
You know, Dave Nichols from Easy Rider says Roscoe's is the best old school biker party in the USA. That's a quote from Dave Nichols. Is that right, Dave?
It's the truth. There are only a handful of really great old school biker parties left in this country, and Roscoe's is one of the best. I'm telling you.
And think about it, folks, right here in Central Florida.
That's right.
I mean, this is, you don't have to travel halfway across the country to experience this. If you're listening on the Boss Hogg Radio Network, the terrestrial stations, it is right in your backyard, folks.
For what, Dave? 35 years?
35 years and going.
Wow.
And it says it comes
go ahead.
hell or high water too, right?
Hella high water, and now we can add pandemic.
Exactly.
That's right, man. You're trudging right on through.
Ain't gonna
35 years.
keep us down.
Yeah,
Man.
sneeze right through it. Gosh. But it is a really good old time, Dave. And you and Roscoe work hard every year to put on this event. And just some of the wild, I mean, the tractor pulls, the outhouse pulls, that's crazy. Who came up with that?
That's a good question. Dad came up with that, but I can't tell you what year and how he even come up with the idea. All I remember is he started it at his old time drags, dirt drags, and he just kind of added it to one of the events at the Chili Challenge. We poured concrete slabs over the years, and pinstriped and painted the outhouses, and it's turned out to be a really famous event. There's been other, I guess, events that's kind of tried to mimic it, but it was originated by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dave, talk us through Thursday night. What happens? Like, when do the gates open? When can people come? When the vendors are setting up? Well, what happens on Thursday?
Well, Wednesday vendors are setting up. That's
Wednesday.
an all-day event in
Okay.
itself. Thursday gates open at 8 a.m. And typically, what's happening then is just people is just trying to get in there and get their spot on the Roscoe's property to get first come first serve for the tent camping. You're able to if you want to drive and drop off your things, you can only do that this weekend. So if you're not going to, plan on staying overnight or the weekend, or if you could, your option is you can pack up your motorcycle and anything that you're able to carry in on your motorcycle during the event, you can camp. But the only time that you're able to drive a cage in on the property is going to be this weekend. So Thursdays, just really gates are opening up. We are going to have some bands later that evening. The vendors are going to be open for patrons. We're going to be serving up the vendor foods there, and of course, Bernie Little Distributors Budweiser is going to be providing the beer there. So a lot of things is that's just it gets going on Thursday, and Saturday we're going to be wide open.
And what about Friday? Let's go through Friday too. It's just a little more continuation of Thursday, and anything more happening on Thursday.
A lot happens. Everybody's really just now getting off to work. Friday afternoon, and bands are going to be going on. We're going to have some beauties up there later in the evening. Bands are going to be playing. Just having a good time.
You still have the stripper
Friday.
poles?
We have the stripper poles. They're ready to go.
And flags hang off them, correct? Yeah, flags are off those poles.
Stripper poles. That's what makes Roscoe's so cool. It's a what about the camaraderie of the bikers? They're hanging out with their tents and the campfires, and man, that is just such a great feeling and a great sight to see American bikers enjoying themselves in camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Pogo, our MC, he will start the ceremonies of the our people that fight for us. All channels of the military, the Navy, the Army, Air Force. He starts those ceremonies about 8:00
on Friday,
and salutes on Friday, and he does it also on Saturday.
Nice.
And he's a great veteran, one of the Vietnam vets MC, and he's got a great group of guys that great men there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is.
And he's a great MC, isn't he?
He's a fantastic MC. Pogo's been doing it for us, half the years that we've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a great asset, and he can't be replaced.
He's a special man. And then Friday it goes into Saturday, so right away Saturday morning, you get the chili going and stuff on Saturday, right? And I know we have the bike show coming up with Hellbenders. But what tell us about Saturday, because that's like, man, the people really start piling in by Saturday, right?
Well, absolutely. That's the weekend. It's starting. We get a flood of people start. It just lasts for hours, typically. But if you're going to be a chili contestant, Chili's, you're going to start your chili there and on the grounds at 8:30, and hopefully your chili is going to be ready to go and be judged by noon. And the winner of those contests, those hot and miles, going to be announced later on in the evening. But we also, we have our own big batch of chili, hundreds of gallons, and that will be served up free
Now,
free includes the admission of coming in that we give away.
Dave, I think the last time you were in the studio with Roscoe, y'all talked about you have to be in competition. You have to have a certain amount. Was it like 2.5 gallons of chili or something, right?
No, it's a gallon, minimum of a gallon of chili.
Minimum of a gallon of chili.
But you have to sign up in advance for that, right?
Yeah, there's an application. You're still time. By the way, that's a good way. Now we only have a limited amount of people that can do that, be a contestant. I believe we do have a couple more spots, but it's a buy one get one. With if you're going to be cooking, buy one get one entry. Plus, you get an apron. So it's a good way to get a discount to get in. If you're going to be part of it, we feel that you need to be able to we give you a discount for being part of it.
Now, Saturday, we planned on being out there with the swine utility vehicle getting set up, and I was thinking, we ought to have us a pot of chili going there at the swine utility vehicle there.
I think Born to Ride should actually have a pot of chili going on and see how Ronnie can cook.
Yeah, Deb can do it better. Debbie does the mean chili.
It would probably be a bowl. It would probably be a pot of spaghetti, Galetti spaghetti.
Well, we can make chili out of that.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to sign up, they go to your website, right, Dave?
Yes, sir. Roscoe'sChiliChallenge.com. We have a lot of vendors out there that signed up. I believe we still have some room. We've added we've added indoor vendors now, and not really indoor, but they're under a huge pole barn. So we're expanding out. So around the perimeter of the property, there's going to be vendors, and a new ad this year is going to be under pole barn vending as well.
Awesome. And now you said you're going to have like a mask contest, but also everybody wants to know about the body painting. Because it's like Woodstock out there, man. That's the freedom. Like Roscoe says, if you want freedom, you come to Roscoe's Chili Challenge. And you know what? That's so right. It's so right on.
You don't get judged.
Tell us about the body painting. How many body paintings going to be? They're walking all over the place, man.
Yeah, and I'm volunteering my service. I'm going to be doing finger body painting.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to, and I'm not even going to charge for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want finger painting, I'll be glad to help out with that.
I'll sign Ronnie up.
And then mini bike races.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh man, that's a great show. You got the outhouse drags. There's a bike show, Hellbenders. Kenny Duke stepped up this year with the bike show. With Born to Ride, we're going to be doing the bike show there. We're really excited about that. But
did you see the Hellbenders trophies on Facebook today?
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Let me tell you something. Kenny went the extra mile, and he put with I guess one of his contacts some custom trophies. I mean, they're beautiful. So if you've got a bike, you want to definitely get it in the bike show because these are beautiful trophies that he's put together, and we greatly appreciate him.
Yep, that is Jay Sizzle's masterworks that he does. But
hey, Ron.
Yo,
Ron, I got an idea.
What's that?
So this bike show, right?
Yeah.
So how about if the bike that's the best bike there gets a reader's ride in Born to Ride magazine?
Sweet.
Great idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Yep.
I mean, you guys will be out there taking pictures.
That's why Dave is the editor-in-chief.
Big cheese. The big cheese. The big cheese. Man.
Speaking of Saturday night, Dave, everybody comes from all over to see Saturday night. What happens Saturday night, Dave?
It's adult only. You can't tell.
You got to be 21 to get in anyhow, right? Yeah.
You have to be 21 to get in, and there's a good reason for that. Let me share. It's an adult party. If nudity offends you, you don't want to come. But I'm going to share with you. It's one of the best. It's recognized as the top 10 best party in the nation. So we've even been included in Bike Week and Daytona Bike Week in Sturgis. So we're in the same category.
And they could go to your website and see a ton of photos and videos, I'm sure, from, to what's happened in the past. But I'm telling you, man,
the PG rated
November 5th through the 8th, it's 2020 Roscoe's Chili Challenge, and
every time,
live free or die, right?
Every time we send a photographer out there, they come back and we go, oh, we can't use that. Oh, we can't publish that. Oh, we can't publish that. But the guys in the back room have fun looking at all the photos.
The body paint stuff you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But it's artistic. I mean, it's pretty artistic, people, and just it's freedom. Like Roscoe says, if you want freedom, come to the world famous Roscoe's Chili Challenge.
Yeah, but Roscoe also says he's not responsible when your old lady ends up in somebody else's tent, in the wrong
pregnancies, divorces,
venereal diseases. He is not responsible.
That's got to be one of the most classic things we've ever had, is the 10 reasons Roscoe's not responsible for. How cool is it to be around Roscoe all the time, and just that could be a reality show in itself, just everything Roscoe does. But the respect that he has in the biker community, because he is a real deal biker. He's a real deal guy, man, and is so respected by so many people.
The races he used to hold, all that, yeah.
I mean, how has he inspired you, Dave?
Let me tell you, Dad has a way and a charisma. I'm not sure if I've acquired that genetic, but he has just a charisma that people are drawn to over the years, and he's been fair. And it's not about, he has this whole ton of money to do this. He just had the connections and the people that has made and helped this come together. And we still have those people. So, I have to say that my dad has put something together that he didn't expect, just because he's been fair and been a good guy.
Well, he's 100% a real guy. And I think reality and bikers and the lifestyle and partying, and, he just kind of has that magical formula.
And keep it in the family.
Dave Nichols, man, what do you think, man? Are you going to come?
Man, I want to be there. I'll tell you, here's the other thing.
Sounds like a butt coming up
here.
here.
Old school biker parties, like, do you remember the Bean Blossom Boogie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In Ohio?
A lot of them aren't around anymore. A lot of them don't exist anymore. This is the 35th Roscoe's Chili Challenge. And here's the other thing. All the bikers in the world want to go and have some fun and party and enjoy some of the freedom that this country's all about. Roscoe's is the place.
That's right. That is.
Totally agree.
Yep. And that's why it's going on again this year.
Absolutely.
Yep. And, we've been sharing the Roscoe stories. We put it out on that Chopper Town, and people are definitely responding to it. They're watching it. It's an exciting time, and, it's Roscoe's Chili Challenge. Dave, anything else you got here? We're running out of time.
Well, just make sure that you come early and stay late, and you're not going to regret it. So for more information, reach out to us on Facebook at Roscoe's Facebook page. There you're going to see all the things that happen, and hopefully we'll get pictures of everybody up there and just having a good time. Plan for next year.
That's
awesome.
Right.
One thing I wanted to add is your neighbors, your community, they all embrace this. It's got economic impact for sure across the board, but you got some great neighbors who support you guys, and you support them as well.
We absolutely do. It's kind of funny. You drive down this neighborhood and you see everybody preparing and getting, their property, trimmed up and primed, ready to go.
Because they get to park on their property, and they get to make a little money too, right?
Well, yeah, kind of like the Buck Stadium. You have those neighborhoods out there that they want to park you and have the tailgate, except the party starts in the neighborhood.
So they look forward to it all year too, man. Just like everybody else. It's a community effort. It's a neighborhood effort. And you can say, hey, neighbor. And your neighbor's going to say, what's up, Dave? We love you, man. That's awesome, man. And they also learn that bikers are great people.
Absolutely. We don't like to have a kind of a stigmatism on bikers because we have a lot of good people that come out there and contribute. And again, we couldn't do this without everyone that's involved, and that even includes our patrons.
Well, we certainly appreciate you calling in, Dave, and giving us an update. And looking forward to seeing you next week.
All right.
You guys like the plan, guys. Well, you guys take care and keep it rolling.
All righty. Thank you.
Dave.
Thanks, guys.
No dogs.
Anything
guns,
else, Dave Nichols, before you
or
leave?
adults? Only
Yeah, hey, I just want to say, pace yourself, people.
Okay. Good advice. Thanks for that one.
Start
Okay.
hydrating today.
Oh,
Hey, Dave.
he's gone. Anyway, hey.
Happy Halloween.
All right.
Folks, you've been listening to Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. Like always, stay safe, keep it in between the ditches, and we'll see you here next week. Have a great evening.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Yeah, I have to say, Born to Ride has been a big influence on my trailer sales in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been nothing but a big surprise. I mean, the magazine articles, everything in the commercials, it's been nothing but the best of help to me in my business.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride. Call 888-795-5779.
This is the Boss Hogg Radio Network. 1170 AM WKFL Bushnell. 1330 AM WWAB Lakeland Plant City. 1360 AM WHNR Cypress Gardens Winter Haven. And 1390 AM and 107.5 FM WAVP and W298BU FM Avon Park.